Oh boy. So you knew that I had to talk about all this that was going on here with No Jumper. It was only a matter of time. I'm here. Don't worry. We're going to break it down. For those of you who don't know, if you don't know, then probably don't watch No Jumper because it's kind of hard to miss this one. This is actually one of their. They keep topping themselves with these dramas. Although I will say the house phone drama is kind of the most explosive thing that's ever happened at No Jumper, but this one's pretty interesting as well. For those of you who didn't know, yesterday on the news segment, actually, it wasn't even on the news segment. It was on Gina's show that is about hip hop or something. I don't know. I don't watch the No Jumper channel anymore, but they reeled me back in because mid pod, Adam22, the big boss man, literally comes into the room and just like, clear the couch. Lush, you stay seated. You remain seated, Lush. No, he didn't say any of that, but that was the vibe. He came in there, he sat down, he looked Lush with these crazy wide. They almost like had them, because both of them used to do meth. So he was like, now I'm going to show you when we were doing meth, I was a crazier meth head than you. And he gave him those eyes. And basically, when he looked at him with those meth head eyes, he said, hey, you were saying things that you weren't supposed to say on Discord. And lo and behold, originally everybody, when this came out, it swept through YouTube, Reddit, all the avenues, people who make fun of No Jumper, instantaneously. And we were all questioning, what is he actually talking about to Lush? As the night goes on, the story develops, and we actually tune into, first, Fig, back on Fig, and then the community. And the community is where it really starts to have the truth come out. Now, back on Fig, it was basically alluded to that the conversation that was had on Discord was in regards to wages for people, or salary, should I say. I don't know. Contractual agreements, things like that. And basically they were trying to say that Lush was bragging about making more money than the original No Jumper cast members, or the more tenured cast members, should I say. There are really no original members left. Besides, oh no, he's gone. Besides Adam. And that got out because apparently Adam is clicked up with a few of the people in the No Jumper Discord, which is, all of that is weird to me. All of that is absolutely weird. So yeah, that comes out originally. Almighty Suspect kind of weighs in. We actually get confirmation that they do make more money than T-Rel as far as the newer hosts like Almighty as well as Lush. And then later on the community show, on the community podcast, AD actually calls Lush, has a whole discussion with them about that, and talks with Adam22. And during these conversations, actually discovered that it was more personally related to AD. As a matter of fact, Lush and Adam allegedly were discussing how Adam was preparing to fire AD from, or at least remove him from the Tuesday podcast, because specifically a bunch of personal qualms that he was listing about him, that he was claiming equates to bad podcasting and stale energy and so on and so forth. And the reality of the situation, as everybody knows, and he was kind of saying it in the conversation that he was having, is that AD is devoting more energy towards the community than he is to No Jumper. And T-Rel is devoting more energy to Back on Fig than he is to No Jumper. Rightfully so. No Jumper is on a decline as far as these kind of things. And Adam22, based off his business, trying to save his business, is trying to reinvent the platform. These other people seeing the same thing, No Jumper failing, and they're trying to build their own platform so that they can piggyback off of that, springboard into their own situation. I don't blame either group for doing what they're doing. But I can sit there and say that after everything that Adam22 has been through, been accused of, done to people, and weaseled his way through, this is ultimate satisfaction. It's schadenfreude. It's looking at somebody who, obviously, Adam22 is not my direct enemy. I've never met the person in real life. I have never had a conversation with him. I have no qualms about him as a human being, but I don't like the way that he has portrayed himself and the way that he's dealt with people. Specifically, let's really, I want to give you an example as to why I don't like Adam22's personality. And it's really because he has no problem talking about the worst things going on in anybody's life, whether it be some celebrity in the media like Cardi B or something like that, or Chief Keef, or one of his homeboys who sits on his podcast every week. He has no problem discussing some of the most dramatic or traumatizing or problematic aspects of other people's lives and behaviors. But anytime that people even bring up an inkling of the things that he's going through, he instantly shuts that down and totally, closes himself off to discussing any of those things. It's obviously because he's very sensitive to these kind of things. And anytime that you have a person who tries to go to that extreme length to show you how emotionless and how unbothered they are by something, just know that it's affecting them pretty deeply. I would know because I'm one of those types of people. You would never know it, but that's because I do a lot of work to make it not known to people. Well, a person who's willing to go through that much effort just to make it not known that he has a problem or is bothered is extra, extra, extra bothered. Trust me. So, with that being said, Adam22 has this issue where he has to... This kid, I'm sorry. That kid keeps screaming in his house, bro, and it's pissing me off. I'm sorry. That has nothing to do with this video. But anyways, no, so the... God, I totally lost my train of thought there. No, yeah, so Adam22, he doesn't like any information about himself coming out negatively on his podcast. He controls it. Okay, that's cool. There was one podcast with him, Lush, AD, after House Phone had left, where they're all trying to tell him why he was, should have just kept his mouth shut when when House Phone was talking and saying what he was saying. He's like, oh, it's my pod at the end of the day, da-da-da. And he's been given that energy for a long time. It's my pod and I'll do what I want. I'll ruin it if I want to. I bring what I want. I'll display you Negroes as I want to, and then once I have stripped the value out of the content that you provide, I will go ahead and switch sides. And now I'm bringing on the Destinies and the Richard Spencers, and you know me. Anybody who's on my channel, I'm here for the free speech. I don't care about any of it. Have the conversation, sure. If you get beat up based off of whatever you said on the camera, I hope that you should be able to defend yourself for whatever you say. I don't care about those things. I'm saying this to say that I don't think that people like Richard Spencer should be deplatformed just because of what they believe. I like hearing people say things that are wrong or rude or mean. It's funny to me, especially when it's not true. As long as it doesn't directly affect me, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can't say something that is going to, like, doxing somebody, giving out an address and calling for somebody to be assassinated or harmed is not what I agree with. But for him to say, look, all black people deserve to die or something like that. You know how silly that actually sounds? Why would you ever let one individual saying that all black people deserve to die affect you in your heart? And I know I'm going here and I'm going there with this video, but it all wraps around the central theme of the changing style of No Jumper from this hip hop based podcast to this, this old urban style hip hop based podcast to newer dialogue based, discourse and debate style podcast, which is a theme of things that, like, it's popular right now and it's growing in popularity. People like to watch people talk and about increasingly intelligent or problematic topics. It's kind of why I'm experiencing success on YouTube. So I don't blame him for making that shift. I don't blame him for making a business decision, seeing if maybe the people that he, has right now hosting might not be able to hang with what he's trying to do. But there's a way to go about all of that. And really, at the end of the day, the way that he had gone about it was wrong. And they made very good points when AD was discussing this with Adam. He said, really it was pun in the back saying, like, you went to this meth head like that you just met a year and a half ago and started talking to him about some dude who's literally protected your life in multiple situations. And Adam's like, when you put it like that there, boy, you got me. You got me. Oh, guys, boy, do I have egg on my face. Am I right? And yes, you do. We have the tiger. We caught the tiger by its toe and he's hollering right now, but don't let him go. I want to see the flames rise. I want to see him keep being pressured. I want to see Adam22 crack and have to admit everything wrong. I want it. I love it. I love to see it. It's so rare. I'm sorry. And like, call me a hater all you want to or anything like that. But it's so rare to see somebody that you don't like actually get their just desserts. And I think that we're actually watching that happen here. So pardon me while I sit down with my box of popcorn and enjoy the slow burning situation because it's beautiful. And I recommend that you take as much enjoyment as you can from it as well, because we don't know when it will be over, but we do know that No Jumper will be over very soon, at least as we know it. Have a good evening.